take 4 at 200 words per minute.
I am Mr. Lee, and I represent the people.
I am Ms. White, and I represent the defendant.
I'm the court.
I am the witness.
Ready? Officer, just before we recessed, I believe we were discussing Exhibit 9 in evidence, the picture of the paint store. Do you remember that that's where we left off?
Yes, sir.
Now, there is a fancy restaurant almost directly opposite that particular store.
Yes.
Did you enter that establishment in the course of your investigation?
Yes, I walked in the main entranceway, sir.
You would then find yourself in the main dining room area, would you not?
Yes, sir.
And what did you first observe, or what was your attention attracted to upon entering the area?
I noticed some blood spots on the door.
I object to the characterization of blood spots, Your Honor. This witness, although concedingly eminently qualified in his specialty, has not been shown to be qualified or knowledgeable in this light.
Sustained. Strike it out.
Just describe the spots.
There were some reddish stains on the inside of the main door and the door casings, and there were also some brown marks on the floor.
I show you People's Exhibit 11 for identification and ask you if you recognize the scene depicted there.
Yes, sir, I do. However, some of the paraphernalia portrayed in that photo are not easily discernible.
I offer this in evidence, Your Honor.
No objection.
Received.
Did you happen or manage to observe any other markings upon the floor?
There were some drag or scuff marks from the inner office into the second smaller dining room, particularly in the alcove. There were also some marks extending from there into the main dining room. I noted incidentally that the telephone wire was cut in this room. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe it was a pay telephone.
Anything else?
Well, the entire restaurant was in a rather dismayed condition. There was a large quantity of pastry in the room that had been prepared for a scheduled banquet or wedding that day, and that was strewn all about the place. There was a fire extinguisher that had been played about. The kitchen as well was really disrupted.
Retracing ourselves for just a moment, officer, what did you do after you made these observations of the spots upon the floor and the door?
I proceeded to the stairway that leads to the basement and observed the body of a male person thereon. I then went into a small bar room at the west end of the building and noted that a cabinet behind the bar had been apparently forced open with some type of instrument.
I object to that as a conclusion.
Yes, it is a conclusion. It will be stricken and the jury instructed to disregard it. Give him another question, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If Your Honor, please, may I have permission to let the jury view the photographs that have already been received in evidence? I think it might be of some help to them while they are listening to the witness describe the situation.
I think that is in order, Mr. Lee. I might caution you in this respect, members of the jury. Just look at the photographs and pass them along. In other words, don't start to comment, at least at this time, as to what might or might not impress you in connection with the various exhibits. Continue with your examination.
I show you People's Exhibit 19 for identification and ask you if you recognize that as the oil tank located in the basement of that building.
Yes, sir.
I offer that exhibit in evidence as well, Your Honor.
I object to its introduction or reception in evidence, if Your Honor please. I feel it would be prejudicial to my client.
Overruled.
Officer, what did you do when you observed this body on the staircase?
I viewed the body and noticed slashing type of wounds about the...
I object to the characterization, Your Honor.
Sustained.
And I ask that it be stricken.
Yes, strike it.
Now, if you can tell us without characterizing, officer, go ahead.
The man had died from other than natural causes.
Then what did you do?
Being concerned with the character of the death, I contacted the county medical examiner.
And did you in any way move or disturb the body prior to the arrival of the medical examiner?
No, I did not, sir. That would have been foolhardy.
Please try to just answer the questions, officer. That way we will avoid too many objections. Will you try to do that?
Yes, I'm very sorry.
That's all right. The body of the victim, then, was in the same position, I gather, when the doctor arrived as it was at the time you appeared upon the scene.
Yes, sir, it was.
By the way, officer, was that Dr. Green?
Yes, sir.
Now, after that doctor arrived, officer, what was the next thing you did, if you are able to remember?
I waited, of course, for the doctor to finish his examination.
And then?
I'm sorry, counselor, I didn't hear you.
Then what occurred?
We then removed the body from the stairway to directly in front of the door on the main floor, and in the doctor's presence, we unclothed the body so that a rectal temperature might be taken to determine the temperature of the body at this time.
By the way, officer, I neglected to inquire of you as to when the victim was pronounced dead.
May I refer to my notes to answer that?
Yes.
It was 11:49 a.m.
I'm going to leave this phase of your investigation for the time being, officer, and take you to the time. when he was brought into the police station. Do you have a vivid recollection of that?
Yes, sir.
He was accompanied by several police officers, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
How many, if you can recall?
5, I believe. There may have been 6. That part of it is somewhat vague.
It isn't of any significance, officer. Did you converse with him at all?
Yes, I did.
What did you say to him?
I asked him why he had done it, what had made him do such a thing.
What did he say?
He just didn't know why. He couldn't understand it.
I object. That certainly is not responsive, Your Honor, by any stretch of the imagination.
Sustained. Strike it out. The jury is instructed to put it out of their minds altogether.
What were his exact words?
I asked him why he had done it. He said, I don't know, I just can't understand it.
I object to that entire statement that the witness just made. I ask that be stricken.
On what ground do you object to it?
On the ground, Your Honor, that there was a coercive atmosphere prevalent at the time.
The objection is overruled. The answer may stand. Gentlemen, it is getting close to our normal mid-morning recess time. Would you care to take it at this point?
Your Honor, I realize that the jury has been sitting in the box for close to an hour and a half. However, I would appreciate it very much if I might be permitted to finish with this officer.
Very well. We will continue and see what happens.
Officer, my examination of you is practically completed. I have just a few more questions, and I will take you back again to your investigation. You assisted in removing the body from the stairs and bringing it to the dining room, did you not?
Yes.
Then what did you do?
We then completed our investigation at the scene, put the body on a stretcher, and took it to County Car 60, the medical examiner's ambulance.
Please step down to the diagram and point out to this jury where you observed these particular pools of blood, as you mentioned earlier in your testimony.
Approximately in this area, the upper left-hand corner of the diagram.
And you say they were reddish in color?
Yes, a partially congealed fluid-type substance in 2 pools inside the doorway toward the center of the room.
Did you take samples of that?
Yes, samples of this substance were taken and encased in chemically cleaned plastic containers by the doctor.
That is all.